Hello everyone, I am Ritika Sharma, Assistant Professor in Computer Science and Engineering Department, Maharaja Agrawal University, HP. Now, I will discuss about Introduction to Data Structures and its types. So coming to the first slide, that is, what is data structure? So first of all, I will tell you what is data. So data is collection of raw facts, figures, numerics, complex numbers, and we need to store that data in our computer. That is, so that we can access that data in efficient manner. So we need a structure. For example, if we have integer type of data, then we need to store it in integer data type. If we have character type of data, then we used to store in character type of data types. If we have string data, then we used to store it by using string data type. So what is data structure? So data structure provide us a logical and mathematical model so that we can use that data in efficient manner. Generally, data structure is group of related pieces of information. We can store our data in memory by using different data types. For example, we have integer data type, we have character data type, we have string, we have float. All these are basic data types. Generally, data structure is implemented by using various programming languages. For example, C, C++, Java and other programming languages. By using different programming languages, we can implement these languages and to store large amount of data. So my question arises here, what is the need of data structure? So as you know, the data is increasing day by day. We have large amount of data, and as per the resources, our data increases every 18 months. So we need to store that data so each and every person access that data in efficient manner and use that data for making decisions, for making the objective of a particular organization. So we need to store that data in our computer. So this is all about the data. So after storing that data, we can get precise information, precise data, precise relate pieces of information so that we can use that data in our computer. So let's discuss about the different classification of data structure. So data structure is categorized into different categories. First one is simple data structure. As you know, simple data structure which are used by different programming languages. For example, to store the integer type of data, we use int. To store the floating point decimal numbers, we use float. And to store the character, for example, A, B, C, D, we use character. And to access the address, we use pointer data type. So this is the simple data structure, and these are the basic data structure which is used by the different programming languages. Next type of data structure is compound data structure, which is generally categorized into two types of data structure. First one is linear and second one is non-linear. Linear is what? Linear in which we can store our data in a linear manner, that is in sequence manner, or we can store data in continuous memory locations. For example, array, we have array in which the memory locations are continuous. Linked list in which memory locations are not continuous but data is stored in linear manner. For example, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, linear manner. Stack, here the storage of data is in linear manner, in sequence manner. We can discuss all these data types in later on slides. And queue. Next type is the non-linear data structure. Generally, non-linear data structure are very important. We have three types of non-linear data structure: tree, graph and files. Tree and graphs are very important. These are hierarchical in relationship, means they are not in sequence manner. The memory locations are different places. So this is the generalized classification of data structure. Okay, next is we have types of data structure based on the nature and occurrence. Nature means which according to the static or dynamic, and occurrence mean linear and non-linear. So coming to the first part, that is according to the nature of size. Size mean how much data we can store in our data structure. So first one is static data structure. Static data structure are those in which our memory locations are fixed. That is, we can't change the memory location at runtime. For example, we have array having data type integer a of 5. It means array size is only 5. We can't exceed the array size more than 5. Means we limit the size of array. Similarly, if we are using stack and by giving the size 10, it means we are not exceeding the size of stack by more than 10. So this is the static data structure which can't be changed at runtime. So this is the problem. So we have dynamic data structure. This is the data structure we can change during the execution time. Means we can simply add or remove the memory locations. For example, in case of linked list, we have 5 nodes at the time of initialization. If we want to increase the size of linked list, we can simply add one more node and we can easily increase the size at runtime. If the node is empty, then at the runtime we can simply delete that node. So this is dynamic data structure which remove the problem of static data structure. So in generalized manner we generally use dynamic data structure. Now coming to the occurrence part. Occurrence part means sequential or hierarchical. So it is divided into 2 categories as we discussed in this slide. In this slide we have linear and non-linear. So according to occurrence, first one is linear. Linear means in which we can store data in consecutive memory location. For example, if we can start our index from 0, then we can store our next location at 1, the next location at 2, the next location will be 3, and so on up to the size is given. For example, in array, if coming to the static data structure, if we have given a of 5, means we have given the 5, we can store up to 5 elements. Then the index will be from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is linear, and these are the memory locations where we can store our data. So particularly data structure is used for storage of data. Logical or mathematical model in which we can store our data. So similarly, linear data structures are array, linked list, stack, and queue. Next is non-linear data structure, in which the memory locations are not consecutive. Means if our first index is at 0 and next index is 3, it means the memory locations are not consecutive. Our data is in hierarchical relationship, like a tree. Tree is non-linear data structure. So this is all about the linear and non-linear. Now, third type of data structure is primitive and non-primitive. As you can see in this slide, we have simple and compound. So simple data structure are primitive data structure. So primitive data structure which we are generally using in our programming languages, for example C, C++, Java, Python, and so on. Primitive data structures are the basic data types. Generally for storing the integer numeric values we use int data type. For storing the character values we use character, and for storing the particular string we use string, and to store the decimal values we use float. So these are the primitive data structures. And generally on machines we can use these type of data structures. If these are primitive because the range of these data types are very limited, that's why they are called basic data types. But these are the basic and which helpful in driving the non-primitive data structures. Non-primitive data structure is another type which are derived from the primitive. So non-primitive data, for example array. Array is a linear data structure, but it is derived from the simple data structures, that is from primitive. For example, if a of 5 is used for storing the integer data, then in front of it we use int data type. If a of 5 is used for storing character data, then we use character data type. For example, syntax will be char a of 5. It means array that is of size 5 is used to store the character data type. And linked list is also derived from the primitive data structures. That's why linked list is used for storing data at different memory locations. So this is all about the linear, non-linear, primitive and non-primitive. I hope everything is clear up to this point. These are the basic type of data structure. Now we have different data structure, for example array, linked list, trees, graphs, stack and queue. So coming to the first data structure, that is array. We will discuss later on what type of operation we can perform on these data structure. So first one is type of data structure. First one is arrays. As we discussed earlier, array is used to store the data in continuous memory locations. Generally, it is used to store the data of same type. For example, as you can see in the diagram, first diagram in which we can store only numeric values. Okay, numeric values, and index is started from 0 to 11. And on 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on up to 11, we are only storing the integer type of data. The memory locations are continuous. As you can see, the memory is started from 200 and there is gap of 4 bytes. Why? Because we are using integer type of data and having 4 bytes of storage. So next memory location will be 204. Again, the next is 208 and so on up to 244. So from 200 to 244, the memory locations are continuous and occupied by the array from index 0 to 11. So that's why the array is of integer type using int data type and store the numeric values. So this is the array. Here each and every memory locations are occupied by the numeric values. If we want to store the character values, then array of character 7. Here we can use the character to store the values of A, B, C, D, E. For example, from 0 to 6 we have index starting from 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we can store the values from location 0, then 1, then 2, 3, 4. For example, our index 4 is occupied by the value E. Means E is the last value, that is E is the last value which is occupied by the array. If we want to store the F character and G character, then what will happen? That is, if we want to store or insert the items F and G into the array, then first of all the index is shifted from 4 to 5. That is, index is shifted from 4 to 5. Now the index memory location is vacant. Now we simply insert our F item into 5th location. So this is the simple insertion into the array. Similarly, the next, only one item can be inserted at a time. If the next item we want to insert, that is G, then we have to shift our memory location from 5th to 6th. So then after F we will insert G at memory location 6. So the size of array is, as you know, the size of array is 7. So all the memory locations are completely filled. So this is the array data structure where memory locations are continuous and we can store similar type of data. For example, in above example, all the values are numeric, and in below example, all the values are character. So this is the advantage of array where we can store similar type of data. So next is stack. So what is stack? Stack in which we can store again data. Stack and queue, these are those type of data structure which can be implemented by using array as well as by using linked list. So first one is stack. In stack we can simply insert our element similar to array, but with the help of a top variable. Top is a variable which is used to insert or delete the elements from the stack. For example, we can say that stack of books, stack of stones, in which, what is stack? So simply in which item can be inserted from one end and that item can be deleted from the same end. So generally our stack is work on the principle of LIFO, that is last in first out, means the item that is inserted in the last is the item that is out first. So we can limit the size of stack similar to array. If we are giving the size of stack that is 6, means we are limiting the size of stack, means it is also a static type of data structure, and it also uses primitive data structures that we have discussed earlier. What are primitive, what are static? So stack is also primitive as well as static data structure. Here you can see in the slide, we are writing top at index 3, means after inserting A, B, C and D, means our top is at location 3 where D is inserted. If we want to insert another element E, then what we are going to do? We have first increment our top variable from 3 to 4 by 1. Stack is always incremented by 1, not by 2, not by 3, only by 1. So first of all, we have incremented our top by 1, that is top is going from 3 to 4, and simply we can insert our new item, whether it is E, F, whatever. So first of all, our task is to increment the top and insert our element. So this is the task performed by top. If we want to delete the item, for example, if we want to delete the item D, then what will happen? First of all, it will delete the item D, means it will free the memory location. It will delete the item, free the memory location, and then it will decrement the top from 3 to 2. Then it comes at location 2, means at variable C. So this is about the stack, which worked on the principle of LIFO, last in first out. So next is, what are the operations that we can perform on our stack? So we have generally two operations, push and pop. Push means through which we can insert our element into the stack, and pop means through which we can delete our elements from the stack. We can push the element by using the last entry, and similarly from the same end we can delete our entry from the last entry by using pop operations. So these are generally two operations. Push is used for insertion and pop is used for deletion. Consider the example. For example, here A, B, C are the initial items that are already inserted into the stack. So next operation is push D. Now what will happen? For example, A is at index 0, B is at index 1, C is at index 2, and now top is at index C, at index 2, at variable C. Now we have to insert the item D. First of all, we will increment the top variable. For example, if top variable is at 2, then we will increment it by 1, that is now the top is at 3. Now we can check if there is no element, there is no overflow condition, then we can simply add our element D into the stack. Next operation is again E, again push, mean we have to push the item E. Now the top is at location 0, 1, 2, 3, that is D is equal to 3. Now we have to increment the top, that is top is equal to top plus 1. Now top is at location 4. Now we have to insert the item E. So this is generally the insertion operation. Next is your pop. Now what is the role of pop? As you know, the role of pop is deletion, means we have to delete the item where it is already present. So top is at location E, at location 4, at variable E. Now we have to delete the element. Now we have to delete the element E, and the top is decremented by 1. So the next operation is pop 0, 1, 2. Next is, again we have the pop operations. Now we have to delete the item D, means we have to pop our element. So simply by deleting the element, by freeing the memory location, we can decrement our top variable. So now top is at location 0, 1, 2. So this is all about the stack where we can use push and we can use pop. So next is queue. Queue is a linear data structure. Similar, queue, we can implement the queue by using array, by using linked list. So queue based on the principle of FIFO, first in first out. Here we can use two pointer variables. First one is deletion, second one is insertion. Means for insertion we can use rear, and for deletion we can use front. So by using the rear variable we can insert item at particular memory location, and from front variable we can delete the element from first index. So this is the case, we can insert item from the rear and we can delete the item from first location. So this is the queue. Now insertion into the queue. As you know, A is at A, B, C. These are the three elements which are already present in the queue. A is at location 0, B as 1, C is at 2. Now A means front variable is at location 0 and rear is at 2, because we have already inserted the elements. Now we want to insert the element D. So first of all, rear is incremented by 1. It will goes to 3, third location. Now if it will check the location is empty or not. If the location is empty, it will insert the item D and simply place the item into the memory location. So before A, B, C, these are the three elements in the queue, and after A, B, C, D, these are the four elements present in the queue. Front is at location 0 because there is no role of front variable. Front variable is generally used for the deletion, but here we are using only insertion. So after inserting D, rear is at location 0, 1, 2, 3. D is at location 3. So queue deletion. Now here is the case of deletion. As you know, we have already inserted the D element. Now the front is deleting the element from the first index. As you know, queue deletion. So after deleting the element from first location, that is A, from 0th location, the front will be shifted by one location or incremented by one location. If you can check the before diagram, here front is at location A or at index 0. After deleting A, it will shift the variable B, it will shift towards variable B and increment the location by 1. So this is all about the queue deletion. Now next come to the linked list. Now as you know, as in case of array, there is a problem. If we want to, coming to the array slide, if we want to insert in after G, if we want to insert at location 2 where there is C, and next there is some empty space is available, and we want to insert the element at location 2, then what will happen? In array, we can't immediately add or delete the element. We can, but can't immediately. So we need another type of link, another type of data structure through which we can insert or delete the item at a particular location. Because array is static, and the problem in static data structure is we can't add or delete the elements at a particular location immediately. We can but can't immediately. So the problem is resolved by fourth type of data structure, that is linked list. So linked list in which is dynamic in nature and which can be used by different memory locations. Here linked list is represented by a node in which first part is used for the information and second part is used for the address. Address means where we can reach a particular address. So we can add or delete a particular node after a particular location. So this is the particular advantage of linked list. We can simply add or delete a node after a given node, before a given node, at the starting, at the end. So that's why we are using linked list. Next type of data structure is tree. These are non-linear data structure in which the relationship is hierarchical. Hierarchical means a tree-like structure. For example, tree can be of different types: binary tree, binary search tree, threaded binary tree, AVL trees. So this diagram is of simple trees. We can come to the tree portion in next PPTs. So this is the diagram of simple tree. Here A is the root child, B, D, E are the left subtrees, and C, F, G are the right subtree of root node A. So this is the simple tree. Tree used to represent the hierarchical relationship. Generally, the different it is of non-linear, so it is of dynamic in nature. It is not of static nature, it is dynamic in nature. We can use different memory location. Trees can be implemented by using arrays as well as linked list. So next type of data structure is graph. Graph is generally what? A tree can be a graph, but a graph can't be a tree. So graph is generally collection of vertices as well as edges. Means graph is a set of vertices and edges, and it can be of different types. For example, undirected graph, weighted graph, directed graph, self loop, multiple graph, parallel edges in the graph. So what is undirected graph? For example, consider the diagram first. Here we have 4 vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is no direction given between the vertices. So this is undirected graph. We can move from 1 to 2 as well as from 2 to 1. So this is undirected graph. Now coming to the next diagram, which is indicated directed graph, in which the direction is given from one node to another node, or one vertex to another vertex. For example, 1 to 2, there is a direction. It means we are moving from 1 to 2. Generally, directed graphs are used to find the shortest path between the pair of vertices. So this is about directed graph. Coming to the next diagram, that is weighted graph. Weighted graph in which weight is associated with each edge. For example, weighted graph can be directed as well as undirected. If it is undirected, it means there is same weight between the 2 pair of vertices. For example, if we are moving from 1 to 2 and the weight is 15, same weight is considered when we are moving from 2 to 1. So this is bidirectional weighted graph. So next is weighted directed graph. Here, if there is two pair of edges between 1 to 2 and 2 to 1, then the weight will be different. If we are moving from 1 to 2, the weight is 35. Consider the case if we are moving from 2 to 1. Suppose here the weight is 10. So when we are moving from 1 to 2, consider the weight 35, and when we are moving from 2 to 1, consider the weight 10. That is not given in the diagram, you can suppose it. So this is weighted directed graph. We have self loop graph, in which if there is edge between 1 to 1, means first vertex, the edge between the first vertex to first vertex. So this is all about the graphs, in which we have different types of vertices and there is a relationship between one vertex to another vertex. So hope everything is clear up to this point. Thank you so much.